Hello, we've done it again. We're back with the Bill O'Reilly Wrestling Podcast, where we review an episode of AEW Dynamite. Uh, we just think Bill O'Reilly's dumb.
Yeah.
So we've named the podcast after him.
Wrestlers come in, wrestlers go out.
Yeah.
Can't explain that.
You can't explain basic wrestling science. And we don't really try to.
No.
Today, we're going to be reviewing some sort of episode. I forgot when this came out because the days blend together like a Van Gogh.
August 12th.
The August 12th episode of AEW Dynamite, as I said before. I don't know why Kylan pitched in with that, but here we are. We're reviewing that episode. It's an episode that happened, and it happened on August 12th. Things happened. Matches happened. We're going to review those matches.
People got pinned.
People got pinned. People didn't get pinned. There were people in the stands with their masks sort of on. So, cool.
That's an improvement.
I guess it's an improvement. Anyway, okay. So it's another. The last few weeks they've been starting off where like they don't do like the, hey, this is Jim Ross and Taz on commentary. We're here to bring you this episode, where they're just like starting. I think I much prefer it. I know who Jim Ross and Taz are.
Who?
They're commentators.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if do you listen? Do you have the sound on when you watch them?
No, I put captions on, but it doesn't pick that part up.
It doesn't pick that part up?
No.
It's just someone describing what's happening to you?
It just says grunts, wrestler grunts, if there's a thud.
Gosh, it's like tennis. So this starts off. We've got it's the Young Bucks versus the Dark Order. It's
the good Dark Order ones.
Again, yes.
The ones who win. The ones who actually win matches.
Yes. So an actual match. It's gonna happen. The Young Bucks come out. They're like, "Woo, go us! We're the Young Bucks." They do their thing where they like lean and flex. And then immediately, Alan Angels,
John Silver
all just come out and beat the crap out of him, which I thought was great.
Before the bell rings, so no DQ.
Yeah. I know it's a show. I don't see how that's not a DQ.
Yeah.
I get it's before the game, the match starts, but is that not blatant cheating?
I mean, if I remember the Olympics a long time ago, that one ice skater who broke the other one's leg, she got disqualified.
Tonya Harding, yeah, she wasn't allowed to compete in ice skating for like the rest of her life or something.
So I think AEW, you have to do to Alex Reynolds, John Silver, Nowadays.
You have to kneecap them.
Yeah.
So they beat them up a little bit and they roll their corpses into the ring.
As Stu Grayson and Evil Uno walk in.
They give each other hugs. Everyone's very happy about it. Apart from that brutal start, the Young Bucks kind of get the crap beat out of them for most of it. There's a particularly funny thing I remember where I think it's Matt is just trying to escape from all the goons that are after him, and he runs under the ring.
Yeah,
is scrambling away.
When they did get some offense in, though, Stu Grayson got killed with a super kick when he jumped off the the barrier between the ring and the other wrestlers, and it was flashbacks to Sammy from a while back.
It was flashbacks to another murder. Sometimes my dad watches with me, and every time one of those moves happens where someone jumps and then gets abruptly stopped.
Yeah.
Really, any pile driver that happens, he goes, "That's dangerous. That could hurt somebody." Kills me every time.
No one's ever been hurt in the ring.
No one has ever died wrestling.
No.
There's only one Hart family. R.I.P. Owen. So, I mean, at one point, the goons, in a way that I guess this isn't cheating, although again, I still feel like it is pretty much cheating. I think Stu Grayson or Evil Uno throw one of the Jacksons into the entrance tunnel.
Yeah.
And then the goons just stand.
They set a pick.
They set a pick. They thought they were playing basketball.
I mean, if they just put their arms out and they're not making the offensive move, they just have their arms out, and if whichever Jackson it was runs into it, that's not their fault.
I guess that's true. But anyway, so they do that, and it's sort of assumed that the other Jackson is going to get destroyed because he's getting 2v1'd in the ring. And
he's about to get
does.
Yeah, he was about to have the I don't remember the finishing move, what it's called.
The big owie.
Yeah, the big owies. Yeah, they're about to do that on him or whatever, and he slips out of Uno's grasp. Stu Grayson jumps off the rope, rolls, and he does the roll up to Evil Uno, wins for the Young Bucks.
I love this match. I honestly think it was probably the match of the night, but I have a big issue with how it ended because
I agree.
It's so I think it was probably just one of those things that in the timing didn't work out, and at that point it's just what can you do? But so as Kylan said, so like Stu Grayson is going for he's supposed to jump like Evil Uno has one of the Jacksons and he's gonna jump and hit him or whatever their combo move is.
Yeah.
But Stu Grayson misses, right? And the Jackson brother goes for the roll up. So Stu Grayson's still in the ring.
He turns and looks at the 1 count, and then he dives when it's at 2.5, so he doesn't get there.
He also doesn't do a straight dive. He does a whoosh, sort of sideways, really he gets some height on it, and he throws his arms instead of throwing it. I don't know. It was just a weird timing thing, which I understand. Sometimes that just is weird, but it just looks so dumb.
Yeah.
Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, who have been dominating the match, who are really fresh at this point, shouldn't be tired. And Stu Grayson just sits around for 3 seconds for whichever Jackson to get the roll.
While Evil Uno gets rolled up, which, I mean, he had been beaten up. Why was he not able to kick out the roll up?
I don't know.
I don't know why the roll up works sometimes, and other times it doesn't.
Devastating move in all of wrestling.
But they do it in some matches. They do it 2 times in a row.
There are 2 successful roll-ups this night.
We need a night where every match ends in 1.
I hope so.
You won't expect it. It'll be a surprise each time. You're they can't do it again.
What another roll-up?
They wouldn't do it for the 4th straight match, but then when they do, you're surprised. You're they can't do it for the 5th, but they do. So you keep getting surprised.
Every promo ends with a roll-up. There's not even a ref to count it. It just ends. But so great start. As I said, I thought that one was match of the night.
I agree.
Yeah, you were texting me during it. You were like, "This is match of the night," even though it was the first match.
Yeah.
Not to say that the rest of the night's bad, but it was just a really good
start. I was like, it started. I was like, if it's like this the rest of the night, it'll be very good. Mm-hmm. This is the best one that I can think
of. During the entire episode, I don't know if we want to break these down just as we go, or just.
I think we can just do them because I don't remember the order.
I don't even
when they do them.
All of them, honestly. But so it's Tag Team Appreciation Night. Probably should have mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, hosted by FTR.
Fancy Tag Team Appreciation Night. So they have these quick little promos where they have some of the tag teams in AEW say who their favorite tag team is or who the most influential. I can't remember what the exact prompt.
I think it's their favorite.
Okay. So I think the Young Bucks go up, right?
No, it's Hangman and Kenny.
Right. Hangman and Kenny go up. And there's a joke, right? Oh, Kenny says the Young Bucks.
Immediately. Hangman's well, this is pretty easy. And Kenny goes, it's the Young Bucks.
And so Adam Page.
Hangman's just, he's and then Kenny's no, we're just two singles wrestlers or something like that.
Sprinkling more seeds. Ooh.
The inevitable breakup.
Inevitable breakup. Sad.
Then there was Private Party who said the Hardy Boys,
Makes sense.
Good pick.
Yes. Good pick in story and out of story.
Yeah, because the Hardy Boys were awesome.
I don't know if that's really those two people's favorite tag team, but in storyline they like Matt Hardy. So
yeah. Then the Butcher and the Blade said the Road Warriors, which
I also like.
Also makes sense in story and out of story. Their characters seem like they'd be Road Warriors fans, and they were also awesome.
Kind of a meme Road Warrior though.
Yeah.
The Butcher and the Butcher wins, but I don't know. When I see them in those white sailor outfits, I can't take them seriously.
They need to bring those back.
I do think those should be their home uniform.
Yeah.
But I think that was the only 3.
Yeah, I think so.
I honestly could have used with more. I know they take away from time from other segments, but for Tag Team Appreciation Night, I would have expected all, not all of them, because I know there's like a million tag teams.
But I mean, there's even some that like weren't wrestling that night. If you want to say the ones who are wrestling, they want to ask. They could have asked Best Friends, Santana Ortiz, SCU, and just some different groups.
I get not Dark Order or like the bad evil people, because why would they care to? I don't know why they're wrestling. It doesn't really make any sense why they're evil wrestlers. But, they wouldn't have favorite. Why would they have a favorite tag team?
Their favorite would be themselves.
Yes, it's me because we're going to win. But, so pretty good segments, though. Could have used them. Next, we get into the MJF speech, which
beautiful
was
as always.
Fantastic as always. Kylan, walk us through the greatness and also a little bit of the confusion that I had in this one.
So
I don't know if you had experienced the same confusion.
I don't know what confused me yet, because this was 3 days ago, so I may be forgetting. But MJF, he's out there in the ring. Well, before he comes out, he pushes Lee Johnson at one point, because poor Lee Johnson. But he's in the ring. He, shows the polls. He is up. What does he have? 500%, and Moxley's down 1,000%.
1,000.
So yeah, Moxley's not coming back from that deficit.
It'll be the greatest upset since the 2016 presidential election if Moxley comes back from this.
Even bigger, because down 1,000%. That's.
Is he getting his numbers from the Huffington Post?
We should ask him.
We should ask him. Send that tweet in.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I see from the notes he sent me the mix-up. Yeah, he was like, "Where's Moxley?" And it's like, Moxley was supposed, like, it's in the card, so yeah.
Yeah. They even mentioned it earlier in the episode that Moxley was there.
Yeah, so as soon as they said that, I'm like, well, he's probably going to come out during the segment.
It's just...
Whereas...
Go on, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, whereas if they wouldn't have said anything, it would have been more of a surprise when Moxley came out.
I guess I was just confused because I don't know if... Does MJF, the character, not know that Moxley about the card? In which case, that kind of makes either MJF or like his staff dumb, or is it that there was a mistake in the consistency of the episode itself that they already said Moxley was there, and then
I think it might have just been a mistake. I mean, I guess they maybe just didn't think about that.
Right. I mean, I understand. Like, I'm fine with either of those. I guess what threw me off is I didn't know which it was. Do I need to think that MJF is dumb or that this was just a mistake?
We can blame Lee Johnson.
It was Lee Johnson's fault.
Yeah.
We're gonna add that as a loss on his records. No one will really know any difference.
Yeah.
Just make him 0-40. I think.
Poor guy.
Poor dude.
But yeah, then Moxley's music goes off, and Jeff's like, well, first he lays down on the bottom, like on the ring. And he's like, is this more comfortable for you, Moxley? Joking that everyone takes pins from him.
I kind of wondered if it was difficult for the cameraman. I don't know if you noticed this, Kylan, or remember. So he lays down in the ring. The camera is like far up, and it does a slow zoom in. But the problem is the camera is not centered. He's not centered on the camera. So it zooms in to where if it kept zooming in, he would go out of frame.
I noticed that too.
They cut to another shot from like the side, like one of the ring side people. The camera's back up and it starts to slowly zoom in again, and he's a little bit more in frame. But then they cut from that one because it's still like just his head, like his tiny head. And then they just stick to the side camera for the rest of the...
They should have put a little X in the ring to say, lay your head here.
I think that would have done wonders because I'll be honest, I mean, I got the gist of what he was saying, but I wasn't really listening because I was just like, he's not going to be in the camera.
But Moxley comes out, and MJF's like, he always comes in from the VOM. Go, get up the stairs. He always comes in from there. And he sends Wardlow and Lee Johnson and everyone, to where Moxley normally comes in, and he's like looking for him. To which the camera catches Moxley coming out of the regular tunnels. First time I've ever seen him do that. He runs up, clotheslines MJF from behind. beats him up, does the paradigm shift to him, and then leaves as MJF sits there holding his neck. Then Moxley cuts a promo saying this isn't over. A promo where, if you look closely, you can see a wild Tony Khan appear in the background drinking coffee.
Is this true?
Yeah, you just see him in the background. He's just looking over, going, just watching this,
just writing it in his book.
Yeah. But
AF Moxley match.
We booked it. It happened 2 seconds ago. Well, this explains how he books him so quickly. He's
right.
Like, he's just right back there.
He's drinking in the back.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think. Okay, so yeah, they come back to MJF. He's like on the ground holding his neck. He's hurt. To which, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's a petition started by his legal counsel on change.org to ban the paradigm shift. It has over 2,000 signatures.
I didn't realize there was like a real petition behind it. That's very funny.
Yeah.
It's too dangerous.
That's what he's been saying. He said it's too dangerous. Moxley's reckless. We got to ban this.
Ooh, I would be interested if that maybe turns into a storyline thing where Moxley has to win without the paradigm shift.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't think that would be that crazy because he's done it several times.
I mean, he did it with Brian Cage and Brody Lee.
Yeah, so I don't. The paradigm shift isn't like his end match move necessarily.
Yeah, he can do submissions,
especially against like MJF.
Yeah,
I know he's undefeated, but clearly that's just because he's picking his matches.
I mean, he pinned Cody.
No. Yeah, he's still very good.
Yeah,
I don't think he would.
But he's not faced a guy like Brian Cage or.
I don't think. Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't win against Brian Cage or Brody Lee.
He would.
I don't think he'll win against Moxley.
He would make Wardlow face him.
He would make Wardlow beat them up while he was recovering in the corner or something.
Which, I don't think he'll beat Moxley either, which I'm upset about because I want him to win. I want him as champion. I
think storyline-wise it would make more sense because they need to let a heel win something.
Mm.
Which maybe their idea is we're just going to turn all of our champions heel except for Moxley because Kenny's turning heel and Cody's turning heel. Yeah.
Well, I think Cody's going to lose it and then turn heel.
He better lose it. Lord, I can't take it anymore.
And he's defended it so many times.
And I think we're about to talk about that after one promo.
The Matt Hardy one.
Matt Hardy. Which was a quick one. So I'll just run through it really quick. So Matt Hardy's getting interviewed in the back. He's got a big old thing where they're like, 40 million stitches in your forehead. And he's like, I'm unkillable Matt Hardy. That's how he talks. He has a South Carolina accent. I don't know. He's from a compound that I don't believe really exists. I think it's on a separate dimensional plane, because they say it's a compound in one of the Carolinas, but I'm not really sure because he is literally a personality demon thing. So I don't know what to think about that. But he's basically like, I'm cleared for Saturday, 10 days, which is just in time for the special Dynamite episode. Very cool.
Which he may actually have a concussion. Who knows?
I hadn't heard about that. Gosh, I hope not.
Well, I mean, it's possible. Like if he actually,
I see what you're saying.
If he actually bled the hard way and got hit in the face with that chair,
absolutely.
That's definitely possible.
He could be dead.
Yeah,
I hope he doesn't sleep later. But he's basically just like, I want revenge on Sammy, and the broken Matt Hardy slips in there. So clearly the whole promo thing that they did last week where he was like, I'm just going to be normal Matt is nonsense, because he immediately got hit with the chair and then he said, no! Broken Matt comes out. Although maybe he's trying to repress that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But he sees what appears to be Sammy Guevara just sort of saunter past him. And so he just goes like ape on him and beats the heck out of him. But then like 4 refs come out of nowhere, and it's just a ref that's wearing I think it's very funny.
And a baseball hat.
A small hat. He's got the Sammy Guevara attire, but he's got his ref outfit under it.
Yeah.
There's something very funny about it. Like are they trying to say that he just had like a jacket for warmth? Or is it that the ref just always wears his ref outfit? Because it didn't seem like he was at work to do anything.
I didn't think of the jacket, which he would be wearing in Florida in August,
Yeah. At least when
which sounds like torture.
like hell. At least when Sammy Guevara wears it, he doesn't have a shirt underneath. I don't know. Florida sounds like hell in general, so
Yeah.
maybe they've just grown used to it. But anyway, quick promo. Matt Hardy's upset, angry at Sammy.
Yeah. Facing, eventually.
But next up, we had the TNT title match between Cody Rhodes, just Cody, uh, and Scorpio Sky, where Scorpio Sky literally kicks the door in as he makes his entrance. I assume he talked to someone in the back and said, "Here's what I need you to do. You know, the entrance tunnel, I need you to build a custom doorway for the entrance tunnel, but also don't really bolt the door in because I wouldn't be able to kick it open if you did. So just sort of have a loose cardboard door that I can kick open when I make my entrance, please."
During the Moxley promo, I'm pretty sure you can see all the materials sitting there to the screen right of Moxley.
I'll have to go back and look. That's very funny.
But yeah, I thought.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I liked the entrance, but I felt they focused on the door. They lingered on it for a bit before he kicked it, which I was like, I thought there was a mistake for a bit, and I'm like, you could have just went to it 2 seconds later. He kicks it. You didn't have to do it for like 10 or 15.
Well, I suppose someone in the back was having to tell Sky exactly when to do it, so there would have been a delay, probably no matter what. But that is, yeah, it is one of those things where it's just like, what are we doing here? Why is there a door in the entrance tunnel? So he comes out big, he's very excited. He doesn't do like I don't know. Some people like do a saunter up to the ring or they're like doing all this crazy, like, woo. He just sort of does like a quick little like stretch and he just sort of walks into the ring. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's businesslike.
He's business. Yeah. Then we get the beautiful Cody entrance, which continues to sprinkle seeds of heelness that we will never see and never will see the light of day because they don't want to do it, I guess. They don't want to pull the trigger. I don't know. Please do it.
I think they'll pull it. I think he's going to lose it to a face. And as soon as he loses it, I think that's when they'll pull it. Which I'm hoping that's going to be at All Out.
How? We'll get to that later. So he's also, his whole family, his whole ancestral line comes out with him. Which is definitely a cool thing.
Yeah, he has Brandy, Dustin, QT, Allie, and Arn out there with him.
Yeah. Which might not seem like a big deal because he usually has one person with him. But I don't know. It screams heel when you're just like, my entire posse is coming out with me. Look at me. He also is announced as the Prince of Wrestling, which is a new addition to his name. Which sort of goes along with his entrance music saying, "There's more than one royal family in wrestling," which I've always thought is really stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
There's more than one.
Most of the time, I think the other one would probably be like the McMahons or something.
Oh, I guess so.
But I think I don't really like there being talking at the beginning of entrance music anyway, except for I kind of like MJF's. Just because it's, heel automatically. But with all the other ones, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, who else? So Brian Cage has it, Taz speaks.
Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks. And Wardlow, sort of. I mean, that's kind of just part of a song. They say "This is War," but it's like a yell kind of thing.
I think that's the song.
Okay, yeah. I like his.
Yeah.
He's only got so much going for him, really.
They also finished the title. It's been plated. I think it looks very good.
I agree.
I'm a fan.
I did see when I was on the AEW subreddit, someone color corrected it to where it was black.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. I thought it looked better black.
I think so too. And
this still looks great.
I'd like to see them also what it would look like with a white strap as well.
I think that would look great. And I'm sure these things will change.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't know what AEW's policy for that's going to be, but
titles change over time anyway.
I remember WWE would change it every 5 minutes, what their belts are. like someone would win it and they would change it to just whatever they want it to look like. So who knows? Maybe AEW's would take a stand against that. But
I mean, at the very least, I assume they'll update them every couple years at least.
yeah. I'm also interested. I know we're getting a little off topic here, but adding more belts because I know they've definitely said like we don't want to inundate it with belts, which I agree with. I think that's a good idea because it gives more weight to what you have. But if they add more wrestlers, they're probably eventually going to add another one. I want a women's tag team belt, which maybe
I agree.
The tournament will lead into at some point.
But I agree. They need to build up some women's tag teams.
And again, we'll talk about that later. Yeah.
And there's been talks about eventually a 3-man tag.
That's right. You've
championship because there's a lot of 3-man tags.
Maybe they're waiting for Pac to get the hell out of England.
Yes, bring Pac back.
I wouldn't want to.
Well, I mean, also putting Pac in Lucha Bros, that needs to come back. We got to see so little. Yeah. There was so little of it when we started because I think we saw them for like 2 episodes and they were gone.
I've pretty much only seen what was it? The match at Revolution, I think, that he had with Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
I think that's uploaded to their YouTube channel, and I watched it there.
I also saw, before they took it off of Comcast On Demand, I saw his Iron Man match with Kenny Omega, which was really good.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a 30-minute match.
Didn't Pac have like a promo a few weeks ago or something? Do you remember this?
Yeah, he had one. Was it on BTE or something?
Maybe. I assumed that meant he was coming back, but then he hasn't.
Yeah.
I realize America's pretty much only gotten worse with every passing second, so, I understand.
Hopefully we get all this fixed so we can have him and the other wrestlers overseas come back.
I just want to watch wrestling, man. And also not have people die. But wrestling.
But also wrestling.
But also wrestling, yes. Anyway, the match.
Yeah.
Great match. Scorpio Sky is always fantastic.
Again, I wanted him to win.
He's probably my favorite to watch, just in terms of ability. But
I really wanted him to win because I knew when they had him face him on Dynamite, he wasn't going to win. So I was hoping when he started making the promos, they'd set it up for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because I think he'd be a good champion. He'd be a face who Cody could turn on afterwards to turn heel, but they didn't.
It's also weird because he went from tag team champion to nothing to challenging for the AEW championship, losing. He challenged
for that one?
I think he he was in, I think, the match he lost to Chris Jericho to win it the very first time.
Oh, I thought he beat Jericho at one point, though. Because he mentioned in a promo.
He may have.
One of 2 or 3 people who had pinned Jericho at that point.
Oh, now I feel like I might have that wrong. Let me look it up. Talk through the match.
Yeah. So, opens up. They're doing some back and forth. I remember Scorpio Sky, I think, started off, quicker. Also, the ref was Mike Chioda, I think is how it's pronounced. He old school from started in '89, I think, with the WWF, and they fired him back in April. So AEW brought him in. He's an older guy, pretty cool. So they go back and forth for a while. Cody hits the crossroads, which Scorpio Sky kicks out of. JR is confused that anyone could kick out of the crossroads, but that happens a decent amount of the time.
Happens every week. Multiple times. I think I've seen him deliver crossroads 3 times once.
Yeah. That was Lance Archer he did that too, I think.
Yeah, which, to be fair, Lance Archer, big deal. But, people kick out of it, JR. What are you talking about?
It happens. Yeah. So, that happens. Eventually, Scorpio Sky gets back on some offense, and he goes outside of the ring, but sort of on the ring apron, and he tries to jump in and do a cutter, which I don't understand why he tried to do this when he could have just tried to do the TKO,
right?
His finisher, but he tries to do this. Cody holds onto the ropes, so Scorpio Sky falls down. Cody does another crossroads, pins him, wins, and then they start like arguing back and forth a bit at the end, and then you just see some Dark Order stuff on the big board. Brody Lee walks up. He has the old title, the one that doesn't have the final plating and all that. And he says, I'm going to face you next week. I'm going to win it. You're going to put some respect on my name. And whoever wins, or if I win that, I'll give you this one as like a consolation or whatever. So Saturday, Cody's going to face Brody Lee this time.
I am looking forward to that. But also I feel like he's not going to lose it to Brody Lee.
Yeah. On a random Dynamite when the pay-per-view is 2 weeks after that.
It's odd to me. The whole ending of this was very off to me.
I thought so as well. It was the ending I thought was lackluster. I thought it'd be more, I don't know what, but I thought something more would happen.
Because you get Scorpio Sky. He kicks out of a crossroads, which I know everybody does it, but that is significant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In story, it's meant to be significant that he kicks out. So he kicks out. Cody's like, oh, Scorpio Sky gets offense in. He goes for the weird cutter that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And it's just like he had no reason to do that, but he misses it. And there's this really weird, I don't know if there was a time, like maybe another timing thing. Because it's not like he misses it, gets hurt, and then Cody catches him. He misses it, stands up, and then Cody just sort of walks him into the crossroads. It's very odd.
I think they should have at least let him hit his finisher.
Yeah.
At some point.
Which would have made both of them look better.
Yeah.
But
I thought they could have done more to make Scorpio Sky look better in this match. Yeah. He's so good and they could have done much more in the match, but
so then after that, it looked like maybe they were arguing or something was going to happen. The Scorpio Sky gets up. He's not like completely destroyed. He stands up a few seconds after
the 4 count.
I did like after the 4 count. Yeah, I did like. I don't know if you would call it like acting or anything. Like he's not sobbing doing face work, but he gets, like I said, he sits up pretty quick. He just can't get out of the pin. And he's like got his head in his hand. He's clearly very frustrated with himself. Maybe they'll do more about that. If they can turn that into a storyline, I would really like it because it seemed like there was something. It was more than just, oh, I'm hurt, I'm going to limp away.
Yeah.
But so maybe if they can make that into something, I'd be happy.
Yeah, of the ones who've lost, I mean, I think he's been like the quickest one to get back.
Right.
Up. Because like everyone else, it's like, okay, they're getting up, but they're clearly like destroyed.
Eddie Kingston like stumbled away.
Yeah.
Warhorse had to like get the ropes and crawl up, and then they got beat up by the Dark Order. Mark Quinn is still unconscious. He got up. I'm just joking, but yeah.
Cody's stopped hugging the people he beats.
He has stopped hugging them, yeah. So
heel turn.
Again, slight changes that will never mean anything. They will, but
like I said, I don't think he loses it next week because it's a regular episode of Dynamite 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. But I think it's about time for him to lose it because he's defended it so many times. Because he's had like 8 or 9 defenses at this point and won all of them. At some point, he's going to lose. I think at the next pay-per-view, maybe they match him up with someone like maybe a Scorpio Sky rematch, maybe a Darby, someone like that, and they beat him, and then he goes heel.
I also don't understand the booking of Brody Lee because, like you said, I don't think either of us think he's going to win.
Yeah.
So that takes away from the Dark Order hugely because he has totally been very dominant.
Except for the match with Moxley where he lost. Yeah.
Right. But if you're going to tell me that Cody and Jon Moxley are on the same caliber, I don't believe you.
Which also,
that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, which also they've done this with a lot of the big guys they've brought in, who, with Brody Lee, Brian Cage, and Lance Archer, they brought them in, built them up. They had their big match, they lost. And then Lance Archer and Brian Cage haven't really done anything since. And now Brody Lee's going for this, which he's probably going to lose as well.
Now, if he loses from like some sort of interference, and that's more heel work, I would be more on board with it. I don't want if Cody wins, he better not win straight.
Like one crossroads.
Yeah, with one crossroads off the top.
He also he can't have him tap out either.
That would be nonsense because he already didn't tap out to Jon Moxley.
Yeah, if he didn't tap or get pinned by Moxley paradigm shift him through the floor and he couldn't hit him. I don't think Cody's going to be able to do a crossroads and beat him.
Cody's going to put him in a figure four with his legs that are toothpicks compared to Brody Lee. But yeah, it's just a little off. I don't think it's impossible for them to make it work, but it'll
be difficult.
There's going to be more than just this is a match.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much that.
Yeah.
What was the next match?
The tag team titles.
Right.
Hangman and Kenny versus the Jurassic Express with Marco Stunt.
Marco Stunt there as a thrown weapon.
Marco Stunt is a heel. This is a fact. He cheats in every match.
He really does. Why don't they fire him? Get him out of there.
But yeah, this match starts out. Marco's getting like up on the ropes in Kenny's face. Kenny slaps him because Marco's getting in his face and he's not in the match. And then Marco tries to get in the ring to go after him, and they have to hold him back. It's like, you're going to get your team disqualified, Marco. What are you doing?
It was very odd because like Marco does cheat, but this was like blatant. The ref's right there. He's
going to see you, Marco.
Reaching in.
He was hoping the line of sight would be above him.
That's how he gets away with it. They can't see it. But yeah, so there's more Kenny, a little more Kenny heel stuff there. Even though at the beginning Marco kind of had it coming to him.
Yeah.
In this instance, but to be fair, that may only be in response to because Kenny beat the crap out of him for no reason.
Yeah.
So, give and take. Oh gosh, what happened? Yeah, Jungle Boy just gets the crap beat out of him, really, for this whole match, which I thought was weird because they always talk about building him up, and I don't see him winning very many matches. The last big thing he won was and he didn't even
the Battle Royal.
The
Battle Royal.
Yeah. He won the Battle Royal, of course. But yeah, it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, I feel this with him and Sammy and Darby. It seems like all three of them take a lot of pins when they're clearly going to be stars one day, I think.
That might be because I don't know.
Maybe they can give them the pins now because they know these guys are going to be over. Right. And they're also going to be some of the most talented guys on the roster. So maybe have them eat pins now. With
like I don't see myself getting tired of Darby or Jungle Boy or Sammy.
Yeah.
So I guess I guess that does sort of make sense if they're going to be around for years.
Mm-hmm.
We can still say they're really good. They're competing on a decent level with all these big deals. They're not really winning all the time, but
you just explain away. They're young.
They are. Well, Jungle Boy's what, 23? He's 22 actually. Unless he just had his birthday. And I think Darby and Sammy are a little older than that. But
I think Sammy's like 27 and Darby's around the same age.
Yeah, so they've got time. Unless Darby does his thing where he wants to be a filmmaker and he quits.
Or if he breaks every bone in his body jumping off something.
That could apply to any of them, really.
It could, but you don't see all of them doing some of the
Darby
jumping.
Didn't see it coming.
Darby's the one who jumped off of a ladder with a skateboard onto another ladder.
And then he was dead for the rest of the match.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Jungle Boy getting beat up a lot. There's like a triple Snapdragon thing that happens where – is it triple? I can't remember. He hits a Snapdragon on Jungle Boy. Kenny Omega hits a Snapdragon on Jungle Boy in the ring. Mm-hmm. He sees Marco outside the ring, or he gets thrown outside the ring or something like that.
He goes out there and he Snapdragons Marco.
Yeah. Marco's like laughing at him or something. Snapdragon to Marco. Jungle Boy goes for a tope suicida.
Almost
dies because Kenny barely catches him, which isn't on Kenny. I think it was just a poor timing thing.
Good job on Kenny being able to catch him because he had to reach over and grab him.
Yeah. And then he immediately Snapdragons him back. So Kenny's just murdering the entire Jurassic Express stable. Luchasaurus does get he gets like one of those hot tags where he comes in.
Yeah.
He's
being kicks everyone.
Kicks everyone. He almost gets his double choke slam, but I think they rough.
They knock his arms down.
That would have been wild, but I didn't think that was going to happen. So he gets a little offense in 1v2, but Jungle Boy eats the V trigger buckshot last call combo, the most devastating move besides the roll up, and he gets pinned. So our champs retain for now.
It was a good match.
I agree. The Marco thing again was a little weird. Not like I don't like this, but it was just like, can Kenny be full heel? Because in one, at least it was like maybe it's a little warranted because Marco's being a shit, but I don't know.
People do interfere a little too much, I think.
Especially Marco.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he can't win his own matches.
Yeah. I mean, he beat a really big guy on Dark a few weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, but that was like
that was a squash match.
The people on Dark are like NPCs in video games.
Speaking of which, rip to Pineapple Pete.
Oh, is he dead?
They let go of him.
No. Oh, they let go of several people.
Yeah, they let go of a lot of. They're going to stop using as many indie people because they have most of their roster back, and then a few people they let go because of COVID.
Fair.
But
about 3 British people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really know much about any of them other than Jimmy Havoc, of course, because
Jimmy Havoc is gone. Everyone.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Saw that one coming from a mile away. He finished his alcoholism, being a abuser rehabilitation, whatever it was. It was kind of vague. He finished that, and then they said, "Okay, bye."
Yeah, they took him and
B. Priestley
and Sadie Gibbs
off
of the roster, which B. Priestley and Sadie Gibbs weren't there like when we started, because I assume they didn't have them on for like the 2 weeks we started watching, and then COVID happened. So
I think Sadie Gibbs, I can't remember. It was either Sadie Gibbs or B. Priestley. Like the most recent match for either of them was in March. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they haven't really been around. I hear that both of them are both very good, but I think it's just sort of a situation where like we're not really using them. So fair enough.
Yeah.
But after the tag team match, we
bring out the olds.
Bring out the olds. Kylan, you've skipped another thing.
I skipped another thing? Oh, yeah, I did.
Come on.
We bring out the old Santana and Ortiz. They've aged them up so much.
The bleach does terrible things to your skin. But just a quick promo. They say, we're never going to apologize to your mom, Trent, and also don't leave your stuff out. Well, they say shit, which is funny because Chuck Taylor really wants to say shit on live television. And everyone else except for him says it.
They need to have a match where if he wins it, he gets the right to say it at the end of the match.
They hand him a firm handshake and microphone.
If he wins, they could have it where another wrestler starts really wanting to say it. Mm-hmm. And they have a microphone in the middle of the ring. Or maybe like on a pole sort of thing. One of those stupid gimmick matches. And whoever gets, up there and gets the microphone first gets to say it on live TV.
Fantastic. I support bringing back pole matches.
Yeah.
Truly a lost art form in wrestling. Maybe it's because why it doesn't make any sense. Why would there be poles? But
because Eric Bischoff, baby.
Eric Bischoff said there was going to be poles, so there are going to be poles. But yeah, they Santana and Ortiz bleach the best friend's clothes and they go ha, and then they walk away.
They turn the shower on, and you notice I can't remember. I think it was Santana was standing there, turned the shower on or whatever, and it like went over the clothes because they threw the clothes against the wall, and it almost hit him, so he almost got drenched.
Rip.
And then once again, they got a nice ending shot of Ortiz throwing a cap, whereas last week he threw a sledgehammer.
Yeah, so really a downgrade for him, but
yeah, he still got to throw something.
He still got to throw something. I hope he continues to throw things.
I hope so too. They catch it. It's beautiful.
Now we bring out the olds, Kylan.
Yes, the olds.
Tell us about the olds.
So, as they had already said, they would have the Rock and Roll Express and Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard on for FTR's Tag Team Appreciation Night. So out in the ring, we have those two teams, FTR and the Young Bucks. It's pretty much all of them saying, man, FTR and the Young Bucks, you all are the best. You're really good. And the Young Bucks and FTR saying, you all are also the best and really good. Arn thinks FTR is the best tag team and says some nice stuff about the Bucks. Rock and Roll Express thinks Young Bucks are the best tag team, says nice stuff about FTR. Eventually, Tully Blanchard gets the mic and says, you're all a bunch of idiots. What are you doing? They don't have the championship, so none of them are the best, which he's correct. Although he got some serious heat from me with that Tom Brady line.
Ooh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. R.I.P.
Oof. But yeah.
He has the ring.
He does have the ring. But still, team sport. So, Tully starts saying all that, starts arguing with Arn when Sean Spears starts to walk out of the back. And Arn's like, I see what's happening here, and he leaves. So Arn's gone. Never see him again. He left Florida.
He just walked into the ocean.
So Ricky Morton then smacks Tully Blanchard. And, they have to hold back Ricky Morton. And Dax ends up going like, ow, my knee again. It's hurt. And falls down. The Young Bucks help get Tully out of the ring and start walking him back, being like, yo, he got a ghost. Also, Sean Spears is there. And then when they're out of the ring, Dax and Cash Wheeler take the knee brace and hit one of the Rock and Roll Express, whose name I don't know.
I think it was Ricky something.
It wasn't Ricky.
No, yes. Not Ricky.
Ricky's the one they do the finishing move to.
Right.
So, they hit the guy. He flips over the rope. They grab Ricky Morton, do their finishing move. Is it the Goodnight Express? Is that what it's called?
It's some form of spike pile driver.
Yeah. So they do this to this 67-year-old man.
This 89-year-old man.
Who I went and looked some stuff up. Last year he was at one of the pay-per-views. He did a Canadian destroyer to Santana. And then did a suicide dive out of the ring to Ortiz and Sammy Guevara.
How did they look?
It looked good.
I thought his sell of the move here was really good. Because I know you get older people, when they get hit, they just sort of crumple. Which is I get they don't want to do some bouncing thing and break every bone in their body. But he gets hit and he bounces up and sort of does a sitting thing and then slumps over.
Yeah.
I thought it looked great.
Yeah. Really good job. But yeah, they killed an old man. I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, probably.
We would have heard something if he wasn't.
We would have heard a crack.
Yeah. FTR, though, they wrecked him. They get out of the ring. Hangman and Kenny come out, and they're like, Hangman's like, guys, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. And they're like, it's fine. And that's how this segment is.
This segment went from almost maybe the worst thing I've seen to one of the best things I've ever seen. I think they maybe could have cut down on that first bit.
Yeah.
By
patting themselves on the back.
40 minutes. It just goes on way too much. They could have each said, hey, you're my favorite tag team. Hey, you're my favorite tag team. But they each had a 5-paragraph essay explaining why they love and adore the people that they hired to come on their show.
Well, we were Tully in that situation.
We were all Tully, yeah.
He just kept sitting there.
But I also agree with him.
Yeah. He was correct. He's like, you don't have the chance. You're not the best.
Yeah. In this company, there are other people that are better than you.
Although with FTR might have an argument there because they've been there for a month.
No, yeah.
And haven't had a shot. But Young Bucks,
challenge.
Yeah, Young Bucks had a shot and lost, so they're clearly not the best one in the company in kayfabe.
Right.
So
we're not even top challengers.
Yeah, they're not even. Are they even in the top 5? I think they are, but they're not the top.
They're not the best friends.
I think they're still number 1.
That was the right answer. But yeah, it went on a little bit too long. but I was glad Tully was there to set the record straight.
Yeah.
I like that Sean Spears came out because it moved very fast once they finally got over the self-adoration thing. Because Tully Blanchard says his thing. He says, I didn't forget what you did to me at one of the pay-per-views a year ago.
Yeah, messing with Sean Spears' match.
Yeah. Sean Spears comes out and you're like, oh, what's this going on? That didn't really lead to anything. I think he was just coming out to maybe support Tully to be there,
Yeah.
But
although, if you want to go with the theory that they're teaming up with FTR, it could have been to get the Young Bucks out of the ring.
Right.
Potentially. Also, Young Bucks are ranked 4th as the challenger, so they're the 5th tag team in the company.
Yeah.
At this point.
Be real.
You're clearly not the best friends.
But yeah. Maybe that beginning bit was purposefully terrible. I don't know. Because I went from like, this has to stop to keep going. I want to see this 104-year-old man get another pile driver.
I want to see Arn spine buster someone.
I want to see these 4 antediluvian geriatrics die in the ring live, please.
For my entertainment.
For my entertainment. But yes, it came back around.
I think it's something that may have went better over with fans just because of who
right.
Like the older fans would have loved every second of it.
Yeah, I didn't know who Rock and Roll Express were.
I had heard my dad say that the Young Bucks reminded him of them.
Gotcha.
A lot.
So
but
pretty good.
I just
Memphis.
Yeah. I would have loved seeing the fans' reaction when they did the spike pile driver to a 67-year-old man.
To this 450-year-old man. What was the combined age of everyone in that ring, do you think?
Everyone?
7,000?
Including FTR and the Young Bucks?
Yeah.
I'd say each of those are 65 to 70 of those two groups. That's 140 right there.
Whew. So
multiply 140 times 3. Over 500.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
I think I'll die.
That's 420.
Nice, dude. Nice. So, yeah, I mean, that's all. Maybe a little 4 horsemen in there.
Yeah.
In case Sean Spears teams up with FTR.
Although,
but also at the same time.
Seems like no Cody if that's the case.
No Cody.
Unless Cody turns on Arn.
Or if Adam Page doesn't join, because he was also upset at FTR there. So it's all kind of like, it just depends on how things go.
Which I don't think they turn both Adam Page and Kenny heel.
Right.
I don't think that would happen.
Which is weird, because we originally had thought Kenny turns heel leads to Adam Page joining the 4 Horsemen. But if FTR are heel, then why would Adam Page join if he's not a heel? I don't want him to be a heel at all. I think I want him to be a face. He's a great baby face. But I don't know. Up in the air. We'll see how it goes down the line.
Maybe they reveal some stuff at the pay-per-view finally.
Maybe. No, it's just more teasing.
They tease us and then it never happens.
I get teased for $50. Wow. I don't have to watch wrestling for that. But so we get a brief Chris Jericho ref promo after this.
Mike Chioda.
Yeah, the same ref that did the Cody Sky match earlier. I guess because he's here for the night, they're like, we're going to use him twice. So apparently Chris Jericho knows him from back in the day, probably just refereed some of his matches. Chris Jericho claims to have gotten him a job at some point and sort of uses this to like suggest that Mike, what is the word? Call it down the middle.
Yeah. Well, that's because at first he's like, when I give you the signal, do the right thing. And then Mike's like, I'm going to call it down the middle. He's like, yeah, when I give you the signal, call it down the middle.
Right. So that sort of leaves the ref in conflict. You don't really get an answer as to whether or not how that's going to go later. So,
well, he also says, if you do that, I'll make some calls and get you a full-time job here in AEW.
Getting him the job twice. After that,
Chris Jericho's generous.
We have another female squash match.
Woo.
Woo. Aren't
the
there
unannounced one.
Other female wrestlers? Not really, but you know what I mean. Why is it always Sheeta and some random person?
Yeah.
Where's Penelope Ford? Where's Big Swole? She's back already.
I don't think Penelope Ford's had a match on Dynamite since her title shot.
I don't understand why.
Yeah, she did really good in that match.
Even I think something they could do, even if they don't like have the ability to do a storyline, I would love to just watch a 4-way match.
Mm-hmm.
They have that many female wrestlers.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a storyline, send them out there and just be like, they're going out there. It's just an exhibition.
Yeah.
What?
They need to do more with the. And hey, I figured out the way to decide if they're giving the women an adequate amount of time each week, or at least a baseline. If they were fighting Macho Man and Spider-Man, would they get the full payment? This week again, it was no.
She'd have screwed out of her winnings yet again.
I said 3 minutes. You pinned her in 2.5 or whatever it was.
Sad.
Or she made her tap
out. We probably should mention she's wrestling someone named Heather Monroe, who I thought looked good.
Yeah.
This was her debut.
Mm-hmm.
He looked good, although she was only in there for 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So doesn't really tell you anything. She kicks out of a Falcon Arrow, though, I think, right?
Maybe?
I think she kicks out of a Falcon Arrow, and then Cheetah gets her with a submission.
Which, right? That's a new submission. I don't think I've seen Cheetah do that submission before.
It was really cool. It was like she had like her knee in her back, and she kind of like bent her. It was very odd. It didn't look fun. But so Cheetah wins with a submission, so I appreciate that was something at least a little different.
Yeah.
But again, please.
Another squash match.
They could have cut. I'll tell you what they could have cut to give at least 2 more minutes to this match. They could have cut the next promo. The Lance Archer Jake the Snake promo that
could have been on social media or dark.
I don't understand. Okay, so nothing against Lance Archer. He's great. I really like the bit where he just destroys people and throws them into garbage cans. That's very funny. But what did this serve? Lance Archer is angry that he's not doing anything, and so Jake the Snake is going to do a promo where he says, "We're going to get you."
I think this one served to show Jake the Snake doesn't control him or whatever. He's losing control, and Archer's turning on him. But
so it was really weird, though. Why did he write? So Jake the Snake's talking while Lance Archer's murdering people in the locker room.
Yeah.
And then Lance Archer finishes his weekly ritual. And he comes back and he's like, "Did you tell him?" And Jake's like, "I was about to.
I haven't done it yet."
And so Lance Archer flips him around so his back is facing the camera.
Rips off his shirt, and Jake's like, "That man, that was a $200 shirt," all sad like.
And written on Jake the Snake's back is "Everyone dies" or "Everybody died." Yeah. Which leads me to this question: when did Lance Archer write that on Jake the Snake's back? Why did he write it on Jake the Snake's back? Did he think he wasn't going to say it during the promo, and so he said, "I have to marker this on your back"? Why did Jake the Snake allow him to do that? Why did Jake the Snake appear so feeble when he ripped his shirt off? Because he must have known that was going to happen. If someone put something on my back before I went on an interview that said the thing he wanted me to say, I would probably assume he's just going to take my shirt off and show it to the camera. But Jake the Snake is so surprised, even though he had to have known this was written on his back.
Well, to your question of why did Jake the Snake let him, I don't think I could stop. I know I couldn't stop Lance Archer from doing that, and I'm not a 65-year-old.
I'm not a 49-year-old man. It doesn't make any sense. It's just like, what was this promo? I feel like they could have shown in a much easier way, in a less weird way than Jake the Snake got a Sharpie and wrote on the back of Jake the Snake Roberts.
I would like them to give Lance Archer some more matches.
What's he up to? He's just murdering people in the locker. Why is he showing up to the locker room if he doesn't have a match for 4 months, basically?
Give him a storyline.
He lost to Cody like a year ago.
That was May, because that was a Double or Nothing.
Not really May.
And then he fought Joey Janela. And that's been it. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm fine with the Jake the Snake doesn't really control him.
Mhm.
But I think the making Jake the Snake seem super feeble and
Yeah.
completely like out of his element is weird for the man who literally was a dominant wrestler for years and years and
The
years.
man who tied Macho Man Randy Savage on the ropes and had a snake bite him.
This man carries a snake around in a bag, and he's like, I get obviously he's old. I get he would get destroyed by Lance Archer, but I think in this manager position, there's got to be another way that you could show he like isn't in control or is maybe afraid
Yeah.
than Lance Archer just like throwing him around and riding on his back in Sharpie. That's that's emasculating almost. I don't know. Not that it makes him less of a man, but it's such a weird decision to me
Mm-hmm.
that he wrote on his back in Sharpie, Jake the Snake Roberts. How is anyone going to take him seriously anymore? I don't think I can.
Imagine Cody doing that to Arn.
Cody, do you think Arn gives a crap about Jake the Snake anymore? They almost threw fists in the ring like a month or two ago, and now
they're going to come back around. They're going to 2-on-1 Arn Anderson, Jake the Snake versus Lance Archer.
I would love that match. Oh.
Also, I just remembered something. I think it was during the Hangman Omega match, for some reason they kept focusing on Frankie Kazarian being in the crowd.
Right, I remember that. That was odd.
Yeah,
because it never went.
I think the only thing I read was I think on the Reddit someone said that at some point in the past I think he was in a new Four Horsemen sort of thing.
Kazarian?
I think so.
Okay, so you're saying he's interested in those people because
maybe
being a proto Four Horsemen thing.
Maybe, I don't really know.
I think at the time I just sort of assumed that maybe they're going to give SCU another shot at the tag team stuff. I don't know. The more I watch this, obviously you get more and more like the broad scope of things. I feel like this is obviously the best problem to have.
He wasn't a Four Horseman back in Impact.
So he is explicitly interested.
Yeah.
Okay, so fair enough.
But I mean, he hasn't. This is the first time it's shown him being with anything like that.
Maybe he'll be in it. I mean, also we might want to mention the Four Horsemen of fame. There were like 20 people in that group.
Well, because I think the most famous one was Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Barry Windham.
Mm-hmm. Well, so Arn Anderson had a brother who he was in who was also in the Four Horsemen at some point.
Ole Anderson.
Yeah, Ole, yeah. So it's like, I don't think there's necessarily an issue with them setting up. If they want to set up like, yeah, it's the Four Horsemen, but maybe this fifth guy will come in at some point.
Yeah, they could have more people in it. Just call them the Horsemen instead of a certain number.
It's the Horsemen. Like that sounds fine too. I don't know. I get the Four Horsemen's like a biblical reference, but whatever. Yeah. To get back to what I was saying, which I think you sort of invalidated it because that makes more sense to me. But it's almost like they have a problem having too many people that are really good. Because like I feel like not every week, but it's just like every couple of weeks it's like, oh, there's this new challenger, and you're like, oh, I really like that person. I want them to win. But also I like the champs because they're great and they do deserve to be the champions. And it just turns into like
it's also just
team I really enjoy just losing.
Not just too many people that you like. There may just be too many people for a 2-hour show and a 1-hour YouTube show.
Which maybe they'll start up another show.
They got the deal. It's just a question of, I guess COVID.
It's just a question of COVID. It always has been. But we've talked long enough.
Yeah.
It's time for the main event, which isn't the match of the night, but I would say probably a close second.
I think I put it third. I think I put the Hangman Kenny one above it.
Okay.
Just because Jericho botched the pin at the end, which looked weird.
It did look weird. I don't know.
I thought the rest of the match was good. That was just like, when watching it.
Well,
it sort of took me out of it for a second.
He's an old man. He's a 98-year-old man. So
not quite as old as Jake the Snake.
It's true. further stipulation of this match is that Best Friends and Santana, well, Best Friends and the Inner Circle are not allowed to be at ringside. They're banned from ringside.
Yeah.
So they are not in attendance. So this starts off very quick. Orange Cassidy doesn't do his normal thing. He's 100% right off the bat, gets in a ton of offense, but then Jericho stops him with like one move. And then it's like, well, it's Jericho time for the next 15 minutes, I guess, because Jericho just bullies him for like 15 minutes. There was one, it went picture in picture when I was watching it. Do you pay attention to the smaller picture?
I try to, but it's difficult to pay attention to it.
Sometimes I don't, yeah. But out of the corner of my eye, I saw a standing vertical suplex that went on for like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah,
which is very impressive, Chris Jericho. He was even like, they were like squats, but
yeah, they weren't deep squats.
Yeah, he was showing his might.
If he was doing it at the gym, it wouldn't count as a rep.
Yeah, he would be bullied.
Yeah, rightfully so, like we were.
Mm-hmm. He hits the big standing suplex. Then I think he goes for the bat. There might have been a little bit more offense in there, but
yeah,
he goes for the bat.
Tells Chioda, do the right thing.
Do the right thing. You see, there's a little bit of, is he gonna
starts to turn away.
Starts to turn away, but then he comes back around and he grabs it from Chris Jericho, takes the bat, sort of tosses it outside the ring. So Mike Chioda has proven his quality, or Kaiba, I don't know. So I believe that allows Orange Cassidy to get up for a little bit at least.
I think he does a Superman punch pretty soon after that.
That's right. He gets the Superman punch. So there's a little bit more stuff going on there.
But yeah, he gets that, and then he's like ready for the pin. But that's when was that when Best Friends, yes, Santana Ortiz start fighting up at the ramp, and then Jake Hager comes out of nowhere, slides in, does a spine buster? Or no, he didn't do a spine buster. He did something else.
Body slam thing.
Yeah, he did a move.
I did think it was funny. So I think technically Santana and Ortiz came out first, right? But Best Friends basically came out at the exact same time. Mm-hmm. I think they were trying to make it look as a response, like, oh, we're going to not let them get involved. Mm-hmm. But it was so funny to me because that implies that, yes, they're banned at ringside.
But they're all like waiting and looking.
They had to have literally been in the entrance tunnels or like just outside, meaning they both would have been literally standing there looking at each other until the moment that they went in. I don't know why they didn't fight back there. They decided to run in and then fight. But I love the idea of the Best Friends just like waiting and watching Santana and Ortiz.
They're like, don't do it.
Better not. So they both run in and fight each other. Yeah. Hager does his thing.
Yeah. Then, he covers Orange with Jericho. Mike Chioda turns around, thinks nothing of the fact that Jericho is down. Now they're both down. Goes for the count. Orange kicks out because he's a boss.
He's a hero.
Yeah. So some things happen then. Jericho goes for the Judas effect, misses the mousetrap, which Jericho falls backwards instead of forwards, so it messes it up a bit. But it gets the pin. It gets the 3 count. Orange Cassidy wins. He finally did it.
I was very happy. I think we all were.
Everyone
in the world.
Except for Chris Jericho.
Yes. And Jim Cornette. But
no one cares that the ladder's happy.
I think maybe it would do good to compare this to their other match. There was less intensity in this one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing.
I don't think this match was as good as the other one.
Yes, it definitely wasn't as good, but I still think it was like very, very good.
I still thought it was good, yeah.
Outside of, I think the Hager thing coming, the stipulation that banned the Inner Circle being sort of looped around by some of the Inner Circle, clearly distracting.
Yeah.
But not like doing I think had someone come up and like gone up to the rope and like yelling at the ref, that might have gotten the match thrown out.
Yeah.
But to make it to where, so they're fighting over there.
They weren't technically.
I don't know why the ref looked at that. I guess he was worried that they would come up
Mhm.
and mess with the match.
He was doing the right thing.
Yeah. Out of the kindness of his heart. I
He
like
was
the
calling
bat
it down
thing.
the middle.
He was calling it down right down the middle. I like the bat thing. I like that they set up that earlier. Although I don't know if this means we're going to see Mikey Mike anymore.
Well, from what I understand, he's still getting ready for his boxing match, so
Gotcha.
that's probably on hold just because of that.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I thought it was good. Chris Jericho, yeah, I don't know if he was sleepy or something,
Or
but
had to do with the fact that he just played a concert over the weekend at Sturgis.
it may have something to do with the COVID concert that he did over the weekend. But it was still very enjoyable.
Yeah.
I like that Orange Cassidy got that big W.
Finally.
I assume this doesn't end the feud because Chris Jericho, I assume, won't let this go.
He needs that $7,000.
That $7,000 for his coat. Yeah, this might. I wonder if this continues the feud, and this might just be the win that Orange Cassidy gets.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll continually win over him.
Maybe they have a blowout between them at All Out.
Right. That would be very good.
Because there's still only been one match announced for that, being Moxley MJF.
Right.
So they still got to fill out that entire card.
But I think that's the entire thing.
That was it.
And
good show. Not as good as last week's, I don't think, but still good.
Have we talked about? Have we missed a women's tag tournament thing? Was there anything to talk about there?
No, because we discussed it last time, and it happens on Monday.
You're right. You're right. Okay, we'll get it next time.
Yeah.
A week later, because the next show's on Saturday.
Yeah.
But okay.
So, want me to pull up the card for next week?
Please pull up that card. We should also mention our records going in.
Yeah, we are now tied again because I predicted the Young Bucks, Eli predicted Dark Order. So now we both have one miss.
I think we're both 13-1. I believe that's the total. We may have to go back and do some math because I kind of forgot. But it would probably be easier if we actually kept track somewhere instead of guessing every week.
We know we know that we're tied at the top. We know the amount of losses. All right, so
this looks pretty easy to guess. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can guess all of these, and I think I'll be right. Cody, Brody Lee,
Cody. Yeah, easy. We already talked about that earlier.
Yeah. Then the Elite versus the Dark Order, but it's not the
good people.
The top Dark Order. It's John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and Alan Angels. Mm-hmm. Is it Angles or Angels?
I think it's Angels.
Okay. So yeah, that's going to be the Elite. Clearly
the Elite. Although I do appreciate they've been giving the lesser members of the Dark Order, making it seem like they're holding their own more.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I think Alan Angels, since he's new, he's the newest, but I think they've been doing that even when he had like squash matches. You would call I guess there's a squash match because obviously he was going to lose, but he had a match with Kenny Omega that was insane.
Yeah, it was really good.
So, but yeah, John Silver and Alex Reynolds have been doing better.
Yeah. Then
okay, cool.
We got the Lucha Bros, the Butcher and the Blade versus Natural Nightmares and Jurassic Express. I think this one's pretty easy to pick. Lucha Bros, Butcher and the Blade. I think
they are definitely. They're 3-0 as a 4-man team, I believe. Might even be 4-0 at this point. I would slightly, part of me believes that Dustin has a little bit of protection for this sort of stuff, but I don't think it'll come into play.
It's also a random pairing with Jurassic Express and Natural Nightmares. I don't think they've interacted at all.
That's true.
So that's very random, so it doesn't seem like why would they automatically team up and get a win versus this clearly already defined, not necessarily faction, but like alliance between Lucha Bros and Butcher and the Blade.
Right.
Then I don't think we can really predict the tag team tournament final because the semifinals haven't happened yet.
Right.
But I'm thinking
later.
Yeah.
Then if it was Anna Jay and take Conti.
Yeah.
But
I think the winner will be either them or Evil Ace Diamante. I think the winner of that match wins it. FTR versus Private Party.
already Private Party.
Yeah, I'm going FTR as well.
Yeah.
Just because I think they're going to get a title shot and take the titles soon. And even though I like Private Party, they're not going to be getting a title shot soon. So.
They're also pretty young again. So
yeah. Then Darby Allin. They don't mention his opponent, so I'm going to go on a limb and say Darby Allin wins.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he doesn't randomly lose.
So
we're in agreement on all of them.
Yeah, we picked Cody, the Elite, FTR, Butcher and the Blade, Lucha Bros, and Darby.
We can only continue to be tied.
Yeah.
All right.
And then with the women's tournament, I think that the Nightmare Sisters get to the championship, but I think they turn on each other. I don't see them winning it.
I hope so.
I want to see Tay Conti and Anna Jay win.
I did too.
Just because they were very impressive in their first match against Nyla Rose, and I don't remember the other girl's name.
That was Ariana.
Yeah.
Something Andrews.
Ariel Andrews, I think.
Who? Sure.
Yeah.
But
that's
everything. We are certainly heroes, and
so
we
true.
are certainly podcasters.
No one can deny that. We have two. I think that's the minimum amount you need to be podcasters.
We would like to thank our audience of dentists for tuning in again this week.
It's dentists, Ray Chanel, and there was someone else. I don't remember.
Yes, one other person. Tony Khan, right.
Yeah, Tony Khan.
Tony Khan, Ray Chanel, and all dentists tune into this podcast. We thank you for your contribution, for your ear, and for your time. This has been whatever I named the podcast at the beginning of the episode. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Eli.
I'm Kylan.
See you. If I can find the pause button.